Data collection plays an important role in data analytics, just because through data collection, we're able to have access to a large amount of data that we can work with in order to be able to answer business questions. Now, the real challenge comes in when we are looking at the systems for collecting data. A wrong system can actually make your work inefficient, in the sense that you spend a lot of time cleaning data just because someone entered date wrongly, someone entered a future date instead of a current date, someone entered wrong information, wrong category, and things like that. Now, a lot of people are very comfortable using Excel on a personal level. However, if you are a business and you are serious about data, you have to invest in systems that enable you to collect structured data and secure them safely in a database. And so a lot of times, a lot of serious companies actually have systems that enable them to collect data with all the rules for ensuring data integrity, in the sense that the data has to be approved and data is secured in a database, and that database is controlled. Now, in Excel, there are a lot of challenges. Someone can sort of delete data accidentally without knowing. Someone can delete the Excel file. When you have data that is a lot in Excel, it overloads the Excel file. The file size suddenly increases significantly by size to probably 40 megabytes and all of that. That file becomes stuck on your computer. You cannot even send it via email. And before you realize, the file can even crash just because the file is overloaded. And so when it comes to data capturing system, it works hand in hand with databases, and database is able to accommodate a large amount of data. Imagine you have about 1,000 workers that you are tracking in terms of training. You cannot use Excel. Excel will break because Excel is not a database. Excel is simply a spreadsheet that organizes data in a relational format. Relational format in the sense that it has rows and columns, so it's easy to just structure your data nicely, and you can identify a lot of data points for analysis. So Excel is on a personal level, and a lot of the systems that we use for capturing data is actually able to export the data in Excel file. So whenever you're using Excel with data, it is possibly you're using secondary data, because the primary data itself is in the system and you can just export it to Excel. So in this episode, we're going to look at how to collect primary data using this data capturing tool. All right, so without wasting time, let's get right into it. Now, mind you that I intentionally exported data and I used ChatGPT to literally give me some dummy data. So I'm going to be creating some dummy data. But before I get into that, a recap of what we've discussed all along. So basically, we have the KPI configuration, and this is what you can use to populate all your list of KPIs for planning purpose, which you probably want to track, or you can decide not to track some of them by simply enabling yes or no. All right, now we're going to do something here. I have some dummy data over here, but I don't want it. I'm going to delete all of them just because I want to build data that spans from January to December for the purpose of analysis, because I'm going to be extracting the data to Power BI and I can build my nice dashboard. All right, so what I'm going to do is that I'm simply going to delete all of this. So I'm just going to select everything and take note that there are business rules going on here. So once I delete a lot of it, this kind of data will all delete and all of that, and that is very, very important, and that's one of the rules that we have in here. Select all of this and I'm going to hit on delete. Okay, so once I click on delete, you notice that it's just taking time to process and all of that, and so delete is done, is gone. Okay, so if I come over here, it's gone. If I come over here, it's gone. That's literally it. What it means is that the data is related. They're all related. Now if I come over here, they are still here because I deleted from the back end. So over here, it doesn't detect that the file is deleted, so I'm just going to refresh it, reload it, it comes back, and then we're going to notice that now everything is gone, so it's blank at this point. Okay, so we are going to learn how to enter data. We're going to look at, basically reporting health and safety KPIs. All right. Without wasting time, let's get right into it. So basically, I have my dummy data over here. Okay. And I'm going to be collecting data for three sites. So I'm going to focus on one site for now. And with you guys, I'm going to be just entering one particular record. That is for January. Then I'm just going to continue in another video. Not really another video, but by myself, just to populate, because I need to create my dashboard. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to click on new and just observe how everything plays out. Remember that we've deleted everything here, right? So there's something to report, but take note, whatever we are reporting on is coming from our KPI configuration and the fact that we've set targets for the KPIs already for 2026. So everything that we are doing is based on context. The context is that we have the KPI targets over here, and then we have the configuration also over here, which is just our list of KPIs and the ones that we want to track by indicating yes. So we're going to be tracking all these ones. Okay, so let's go back. And so I'm going to start off and I'm going to be reporting end of month report. So I'll go all the way back to the January 31st, right? January 31st. The reporting year is 2026. I'm reporting for AD 21, and I'm going to initiate the whole process of trying to make a submission. All right. So this is the first KPI submission. I'm going to click on select category, and let's look at what is happening. We have 9 categories, right? We have 9 categories that we're going to be populating data for. Mind you that we have decided to report on all of them, but we could choose not to report on all of them. But we are trying to build our nice dashboard. So let's just go with this. So I'm going to be starting off with manpower. So I'm going to add to the category. Let's look at how the whole thing plays out. This is going to refresh, initialize. Now, as it is initializing, let's see what is happening here. We have registered a submission. We come over here, we've registered manpower as the KPI you want to track. If I come to actual, you're going to notice that we have registered it over here. So it has initialized. So if I come over here, you're going to notice they've all populated, right? So we have one that has populated. I'm going to click on this, and my manpower is 396. So I'm just going to click on it. It's going to refresh, and over here, my man hours worked is 187945. That is pretty much it. So at this point, I'm done with one category. So I'm just going to click on submit. I'm going to load the category, and as you can see, one category has been loaded. But take note, there's this asterisk sign over here. This indicates that this category is important, it's mandatory. Assuming I did not complete it and I try to submit it like I'm closing this KPI submission, it's going to direct me back here that, hey, there's an outstanding KPI category that I've not completed. So let's quickly move very fast. Control of work. So it's going to load all the control of work. Let's see what happens over here. Control of work has been added to the list over here, as you can see. Then once I click here, you're going to notice that it has loaded control of work. If I come over here, I have 5 KPIs that have been added. And so the permits, how many permits did we issue? We issued 112 permits. Risk assessment, we issued, we did 85 risk assessments. Permits, how many permits did we do? We did 36 permits. We raised 36 permits. No, the audit is 36. And then the compliance rate is 96%, and that is it. And then the toolbox stock that we conducted was 105 toolbox stocks. And that is it. As you can see, 7/7. And I'm just going to load it. And you notice that I'm done with control of work. I'm done with man hour and manpower, right? I move on to behavior-based safety. I just add to this one. So this actually is good for companies that have a lot of people who are reporting. And so I'll be showing you something interesting. There's this kind of approval workflow that we're going to be going through. So basically, we are moving on to the next, which is safety observation reported. We reported 105. And as you can see, the target is there for us to see. Out of the safety observation, we had 69. 69 safety conversations or positive reporting. Unsafe acts identified. We identified 6 unsafe acts, and then 42 unsafe conditions. Okay, so 42 over here. And then stop work authority that we issued. There was 0 stop work authority. That's fine. So we notice that we've completed 12/12. So we just load. Eventually, it's going to be like a total of our 50 KPIs that we are trying to report. So if I come over here, I move on to the next, and that is workplace controls. It's going to list all the workplace controls. Now let's have a look at what happens here. You notice that it's going to start to increase. 12/13, 12/17. It goes on and on, right? So we just keep going. Workplace inspection, right? We had about 29 inspections. Vehicle inspection was 13. Okay. PP inspection was 25. And so all of this, we are going to be comparing actual against target when we are doing our analysis, right? Where we're going to be estimating a score. Okay. So basically, safety equipment inspection, we did about 43, and then occupational hygiene monitoring, we did 4 of them. The target is 50. So that we have it here, 7/7. And so we just keep going. We're going to load, right? And then you notice that controls has been checked. So we have 3 that is done, or 4 that is done. As you can see, 4/9, right? And then we continue to the other KPIs. So it's going to be loading 20. You're going to see that. So safety meeting, we did 5 safety meeting. We ran 3 campaigns. Okay, 5, right? 5. And we ran 3 safety campaign. Okay. And then we did HSE training sessions, right? So training sessions that we held were about 7 of them. We inducted some employees. And so that's like 5 employees. Safety bulletin, we issued about 5 safety bulletins. And then safety awards, we gave some safety awards. Okay. So that's like, how many awards did we give this month? We gave about no safety award. That's fine. 23/23. We've submitted everything. We're going to load. Let's continue. So basically, we are done with employee engagement. We move on to emergency response. Okay, so that's also going to load the KPI. We're going to see that very soon. So everything is loaded. So emergency drills, how many drills did we carry out? We carried out 5 drills, and out of the 5 we also did 2 fire drills, and then also we did 1 spill response drill. Okay, and then medical evacuation drill, we did that one also. So I'm just going to check here. Medical evacuation drill, we did 2 medical evacuation drill, and our drill response, the target is 5 minutes, but we actually scored 11.9 minutes. That's literally it. We are done. We click on load, we continue, and so that is done. And then we move on to environmental and social governance. Very, very exciting. So you notice that they're all going to be loading very fast like that. Okay, so waste generated, how many waste did we generate? 67 kilograms, right? And so air emission monitoring, we did 1, the target is 12. And then community complaints, we did 2. We had 2 community complaints, so this is under ESG. And then local rate, so employment rate is 50%, but the target is actually, we did 30%, and the target is 50. Governance meeting, we held 1 governance meeting, and that's pretty much it. We are done. So we just submit it. Okay, we load it, then we go on to continual improvement. We add it. Okay, so that's sort of going to load all the KPIs, and we have about, okay, so lesson learned, we did 3 lesson learned, learning from incidents. Internal audit, we did 1 internal audit. And then corrective action closed. So that's 10. Risk assessment review is 18. So 10. Risk assessment review is 18. And then management review conducted is 0. Okay. So that's pretty much it. We are done with this one. We just click going. Then we are now going to be getting into the lagging indicators. So we just add this category, and then we look at its load, right? So we have about fatality. So fatality was probably 0. So fatality is 0 because the target is 0. We don't want fatality. Lost time injury, unfortunately, we had 1 lost time injury. Respiratory case is 0, and then medical treatment case is 4, and then first aid case is 6. Near miss is 16. We recorded 16 near misses, and then property damage was 1. Vehicle incident was 1. Environmental incident was 0. Okay, and occupational injury was 2. High potential incident, we recorded 2 as well. And then we look at the man days worked, right? So the man days lost from LTI, we recorded 5 man days lost from LTI, and then man hours lost from LTI is 50. So that's pretty much it. We are done, and then we just submit it. Okay, so this is taking it's taking longer than expected. So we are literally done submitting. So at this point, we click on submit. It brings us over here, and then we're just gonna submit. Okay, so let's quickly go to, submit KPI, this one, and then I'm just gonna submit it right now at this point, and this is submitted. Okay, so it's gonna trigger an email and everything. So let's go over here. We come to Outlook, and then also I could probably come over here. So let's have a look at this. We have a notification over here. We also have it in Outlook that a KPI have been submitted for review. And so I just come back here and I'm going to approve it. Okay, so I could actually choose to click over here. Let's have a look at it. I click over here. It takes me straight to the app. I just approve it because I have approval rights. So if I have someone who is reporting to me, or I have a lot of people who are at different locations and they are reporting to me, this is exactly what I'm going to be doing. I am at the head office, and I'm simply going to approve it. So at this point, it has been submitted. But there is an update that I need to update because I'm opening it for the first time in the browser. So I'm just going to, at this point, approve it. And once I approve it, it has now officially been approved. So there we have it. We've approved it. And as you can see, things are going to be updating. Okay, so I don't like to be working on the browser. I simply want to be working in the app. Okay, so I just open the app right now, and you're going to notice that it has now been approved. Now come over here. You notice that all of these have been approved. As simple as that. Submission is a breeze. I'm going to see you guys in another video. Bye for now. Cheers.